Alright everyone, this is video number 2 of the group videos we're doing with Drew here. You guys know me, I'm sure. I'm Colin Richard. I'm the breeder and owner at Elemental Reptiles, which is where these videos will be going, either on my Facebook or my YouTube channel. Links will be in my Instagram as well. Link to Drew here will be up on everything as well. Drew has been so kind as to give us his time today to kind of just have a podcast along with the tour video that we did earlier. Now, tell us a little bit about you, what you do.
Well, primarily, I am an educator. I do educational outreach programs throughout Maine and New England, taking in unwanted, neglected, and abused exotic animals, primarily reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates. We will take in anything because we can redirect it. I know a lot of people, so we can move it on if it doesn't belong here. We can get it. So I just recently took in some sugar gliders and hedgehogs and stuff like that. Amy, don't mind us if business is going on while we're...
Actually, it was Kevin and I had a question for you. There's a pigeon out back that doesn't want to move. He's staying on the dock. He won't fly.
Okay.
He's right around all of us. I don't know if he's sick or hurt or whatever, but I thought I'd just come down and let you know. It's right on our Caden's loading dock.
Okay.
He won't move. He just landed on a delivery guy. Doesn't want to fly away or anything.
All right, I'll take a look.
Thank you.
That ties in perfect, see?
Perfect
Pigeon,
example of what
pigeon,
happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works in my center. So we have a center here in Lewiston that's open to the public pre-COVID. We can't meet CDC guidelines, and we probably won't be able to open until sometime later next year. But we take in all these animals. We work with the state of Maine. We take in animals that are illegal, use them in education, relocate them out of state. So we have quite a collection. We have at any given time anywhere from 150 to 200 animals. And again, we redirect to take in a lot of stuff. So that pigeon I'll take in, take a look at it, get it to where it needs to be, probably avian haven. But that's the kind of things we do here. We've had to rethink things a little bit, because we aren't doing as many educational shows for schools like we did before, but so now we're doing more virtual. We're also doing a lot more, just presentations, virtual presentations, educational things on my pages, my Facebook page and stuff. But we also now, seeing that there's cricket shortages and worm shortages which I don't understand, but we've been selling live feeders. That's something that a lot of places aren't doing these days. So we have a lot of insects as well as rodents, and we also have frozen. And we've been breeding our own insects now, and raising up different roaches and different we're breeding our own crickets. Even we're starting that. Superworms, mealworms, we got it all. 9 species of cockroaches, 8 species. Yeah. But so just kind of filling in where we're not getting the business for people to come see our place and see our animals and booking us for shows. We're kind of just now selling insects and rodents to get people by.
You've adapted.
Yeah. If you don't adapt, you die. So that's my attitude. Is
especially in this profession with it changing so much, there's a lot of reasons you'll have to adapt.
Oh, this I've been doing this for 35 years, and it's changed so much from when I first started to now. And some of it good, some of it not so good. It's been interesting. And I've been in all aspects. I've been breeding, I've been, I owned a pet store, I worked through the wholesale distributors. And I've done a lot of different, rehab of native wildlife and just crazy things. And so I've seen a lot of different things and got to know a lot of different people. And again, now I'm where I'm at, and I'm much happier doing the education piece, because that to me is the biggest thing that is lacking out there is education. And it's not to say I know everything or I but I try to put a sensible approach on things. I try to take my old school knowledge and apply it to modern school knowledge, and I try to, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and what happens if you don't have this? Well, back in the day we didn't have it, and this is what we do. You know, and so it's worked out a lot for me in that aspect. Again, am I perfect? No. You know, do I know everything? No. I'm still learning. I love it when I learn something new and when I can share it. And that's my big thing is. My big thing is the education, like I said, but it's getting the children. Adults are damaged. They're done. I can't change an adult, but I can get a kid interested in something. He's going to grow up, and he might make the difference for conservation efforts, or protection of a species, or the next breeder, or whatever it is. I mean, you know, but I can get that kid interested. I've done my job, you know, and it's not just interested. Get them passionate. That's the problem. Is people do jobs for a living, but they don't follow their passion. And so if I can get them passionate enough about something, you know, that I'm passionate about, and it doesn't have to be reptiles. I mean, because I love fish, I love geology, I love a lot of things. And so when I'm upstairs in my geology department with kids, I'm just like right into the moment. We're talking fossils and we're talking meteorites and, you know, and I see that kid just lighting up, and I'm holding dinosaur poop and a meteorite at the same time, you know, and just the epiphany of that, you know, that's what I love. And when I see a child doing that, I mean, you see adults that are interested, and they're like, oh, that's cool, you know, whatever, but it's not the same. Yeah, because you got responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, you got responsibilities as an adult, so you might enjoy it, but you know, I got to work for a living. I got a family. Kids are like
no care in the world. I
yeah,
can focus all of my energy on this.
Yeah, and it's Play-Doh. I mean, it's to be sculpted or molded and shaped, and so you can work with them, and they're pliable, and you know, I have some kids that just constantly are messaging me and emailing me with questions that are like really awesome questions. It's like, you're thinking. I love
questions.
that.
It's like, you're 13, and I wouldn't expect a
13,
30-year-old.
I'm getting 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds doing that, and that's the thing. It's like, you're thinking, and you're reaching out to me, and I can reply to you, and it's like on Mondays we do our Happy Mail Monday. A couple of envelopes up there for next week. Happy Mail Monday is kind of like a thing I started for kids or adults to write a letter, send it by snail mail, not email me anything, not but snail mail. Send me in a letter, and it was a way to have kids, one, practice their writing skills, and two, to incorporate science, because a lot of schools are now doing online, or a lot of people are homeschooling, and this was a way to kind of incorporate something extra into the curriculum that wouldn't cost anything other than a stamp and a piece of paper and an envelope.
And it's more interesting, too.
Yeah,
and then the online school, and I know when I was doing stuff online, I've been out of school for a couple of years now. I'm 23. But even when I did some of my online stuff in school, just trying to keep the attention there. You're giving something that, I sent Mr. Drew a letter. Yeah. Now I get the excitement of waiting for him to open it. I get the excitement of hearing what his answer is.
It's again, you're seeing it live because I post it every Monday, and so people know what time and tune in for it. And when I was a kid growing up, we had a TV program as a child, but we didn't have internet and all that and YouTube and stuff. So we had a program called Romper Room, and at the end of Romper Room, she held up a magic mirror, and she would look through this magic mirror, and it was actually just like a frame, so you could see her, and then of course they'd have some shoddy special effects, make a little swirling motion in the mirror, it was kind of trippy back then, but everybody was on acid, and so she would sit there and say romper, bumper, stomper, boo, or whatever she said, and she said, I see, and she would call out random kid names. I see, Colin, I see John, I see you, Debbie, hi. And you as a child sat there, please call me, please call me, please call me. And when she did, oh my God, that's what you were talking about at the bus stop. Because everybody at the bus stop was talking about it. She called out my name, did you hear her call my name? Oh my God. Because it was right before school, and we had, and so it's like, I remember that excitement. So the same feeling that, I'm hoping that kids will, Mr. Drew said my name or read my letter and stuff and answered my question. He was talking to me, That's what I hope to do with it, is just to get people interested in asking. And I tell people, question on anything. It could be about me personally. It could be about an animal I have. It could be an animal I don't have. It could be an environmental question. It doesn't matter. Just something, one week we talked about death. that came up because a kid mentioned his animal died, and somebody else had mentioned one of my animals asked me about one of the animals, or one of our rats, and how Braveheart was doing. And, well, Braveheart passed away, so it was kind of this is a good time to talk about it because a lot of parents don't want to talk about
such
death.
a dark
or
subject.
Yeah, or gee, I remember working when I owned my pet store. I need a goldfish that looks like this, or a betta, this blue betta, because I got to replace the one that died before Billy gets home. And it's like, why don't you just tell Billy that it died? Because what happens when the grandparent dies? You can't find another blue-haired old lady to replace it. I mean, this is best to start now that, hey, this is what happens. And
the life cycle. This is
yeah. So when somebody wrote to me their dog died and was asking about, I thought they came into the same week. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. We're just going to talk about death in a very simplified way. So again, if it's an adult sending me something, I'll be a little more detailed. And I try to go. I don't talk down. I don't like talking down to the kids. A lot of people say, oh, those are big words for little kids, and it's like, hey,
you have to give kids credit. They
the kid can say Tyrannosaurus
Rex.
Rex. Or Micropachycephalosaurus. Believe me, he's okay with these words, and it's not. They're not babies, and the more you treat them like human beings rather than little,
small things we have
small
to protect.
things. Yeah.
We want to protect them, but at the same time,
not to sound crude, but I mean it's the same thing with our kids growing up. We didn't give any cute names for personal parts. It's like penis, vagina. That's it. That's what it is. Because it's what it is. When you sit there and go, oh, it's your muffin. What is that?
Now we're looking at actual muffin. What's happening here?
Well, that or why I said that particular one, because it was an incident that happened in a school where this little girl said every morning she shares her muffin with Dad. And the teacher said, oh, that's nice of you. That's very sweet of you. Till they found out that it was a sexual thing. And her vagina was a term for muffin. And so, and this wasn't that long ago. I mean, we were doing it prior to in my house. We're clinical. It's a penis. That's it. I mean, you want to call it a little wee winky with your kid, you go ahead, but it's a penis. And so with going back, we're really diverting off that topic.
Going off rail, but it'll come back.
Yeah, don't worry. We're just changing tracks. But no, so I mean, even when I'm doing my presentations, if it's young children, I still don't get down and I mean, I gear it to their level, but I still use words that are bigger because I find they remember it. And again, going back to molding kids, I mean, they're very pliable and they learn a lot. And they're the ones that are going to make the difference in our future because adults are already set in their ways.
The more you teach and inspire, and the more of a chance that change may come when it needs to.
Yeah.
If we're talking down to them, then they're going to stay that way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily be inspired to change anything.
Yeah. I want them to. I want them to realize.
Because I know when I was young, people talk down to me sometimes, and I'm looking at them like, I know what you're talking about. I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
So that is a big part there, and that's a good thing that I've known. I work when you do your happy meals, but I try and tune in if I'm on my lunch break or something for a couple minutes. You do them at 10 on Mondays, right?
10 o'clock on Monday
10 o'clock
mornings
on Monday.
live. Yeah, we do it live and then we share it so that because
people not every can't see it.
Some kids are physically in school and they're not doing a virtual thing, so they can at least go home. And sometimes I've had parents say, "Oh my God, when he gets home from school, I'm gonna let him watch it." So parents get excited hearing me talking, calling their child off. And again, we're trying not to use last names or anything like that because out of those circumstances, So, but I figured if the child knows their name and knows what they wrote to me, they'll know it's
talking.
Yeah.
And I will put your address in here for anyone that wants to send Drew some happy mail.
Yeah, anything. Thank you, sir.
Anything at all, it'll be in the description for YouTube. It'll be in the description when it goes on my Facebook page. I'll link his stuff, like I said, as well. The other good thing, still on the happy mail that you do, I've seen you trying to touch on a lot of phobias too.
Yeah.
People talk to you about phobias. I think you were talking to me earlier in the other video about the spiders.
Yeah, or fears in general. Yeah, because we're like a one-stop shop. We have a lot of things. I mean, people are. It's always amazed me. Hold on one second, folks. Amy. She right there. Oh, we got people coming in, so. Thank you. Functioning business.
We work with what we can get.
So,
Perfect example, real quick, is this is what Drew does during COVID. We have people coming in and standing behind a barrier buying whatever feeders they might need or asking a question or something. And I'm in here often just to support him, even though I raise a lot of my own feeders as well. So with the address for the Happy Meal, if you guys you can't find something for a good price or anything, come over, visit Drew, support him as much as you can.
yeah, what he said. So,
Diverting off again.
But, what were we talking about?
The phobias.
Phobias. Yeah, we're talking about phobias. Yeah, because we're a one-stop shop, and it's amazing over the years how, because, I do all these presentations. I mean, on average, pre-COVID, everything now is pre-COVID, post-COVID. Pre-COVID, I was seeing 25 to 30,000 people a year.
Yeah.
And of course, over the years, you've seen a lot of people, I'm scared, or they book me, don't bring this, and so I found that, I was pretty good about talking to people about their fears and helping them understand, and of course, having the actual animal helps. I mean, you go to a counselor or a therapist, they're not going to have one with them.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they did, though.
Well, they charge a lot of money. I don't charge anything to help someone with their fears, because I understand. And, that was the thing. I started realizing with children first. What I started noticing many years ago is my presentations start off with insects, and then I move up through higher order, then I go to arachnids, then I go to amphibians, then I go into the reptiles, which we start with the turtles and tortoises, then we go to lizards, snakes, and not birds, but lizards, snakes, and we kind of cover it that way, and that's how every show goes. And so I would notice every show that the children were scared in the beginning of the bugs. And in the beginning I thought it was just because, here's this dude talking with animals and stuff, and but then I realized they weren't scared with the snakes. And they weren't scared with other things, it was just the bugs. And I started thinking logically about it and said, well, and of course seeing other people with fears, adults and stuff, and why are the adults not scared? They laugh at the bugs, but they're scared of the snakes. But the kids weren't scared of the snakes, but they were scared of the bugs. And then I started understanding fear a little more and understanding that fear is taught, and that insects for a preschooler is scary. And the reason why is we sit there and we tell them, don't touch it, that might sting you. That caterpillar will give you a rash. Mosquitoes, we slap them, we step on them, there's something in our hair, we freak out. We say to kids, we're going to put bug spray on you so the bugs don't bite you. Sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. We're telling children all day long
So many
to be scared of bugs. We're teaching them that. So they are scared of bugs. But they haven't been exposed to snakes. And so children, parents are always saying to me, oh my God, I can't believe that's not my child. I'm scared of snakes, and my child just ran up there and was holding him, got the snake around him, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because you haven't taught them that fear, and please don't. Because I understand fear is painful. Nobody wants it. True phobias especially, I mean, it's deep, it's debilitating. If you're a true phobic of anything, it doesn't matter what it is, you freeze up. I mean, your blood pressure goes up, you tense up, you're sweating, your heart rate accelerates, and you literally curl up in the fetal position and cry, or panic and run, whatever, but it's a bad thing. And why I tell parents, would you want your child to experience that?
Yeah.
So we need to focus on, and so we help a lot of people with fears, just for that reason alone. It's just because it's painful. I don't, I haven't met anything yet that I'm scared of, like truly scared of. I mean, the IRS scares me, but
IRS scares everyone, I think.
But that's just me on that. But I mean, so that's what we try to do, is help out people with that fear to get over that and understand it. Because also with fear comes not only the misunderstanding, but a lot of animals in particular, people are scared of snakes, will kill snakes. Or snapping turtles get killed because they're snapping turtles. It's like, no, they're really neat animals once you get to know them
It's a
or
turtle that
understand
has
them. Yeah, it's got a name. All turtles will snap you. I don't care.
You could
You
have
stick your
a
finger in
painted
your
turtle
yeah.
that
You put your
bites
finger
you.
in their face and they're gonna bite you. That doesn't, and they don't bite your toes off. These are stories that get told over the years. And we mentioned like earlier in the movie Anaconda and arachnophobia and snakes on a plane, whatever. People see these movies and it's just that thing.
It doesn't help at all.
And it doesn't help at all. And it's so far from the truth. And that's the issue. I try to help dispel all that.
And the big thing with that is that could be some of the only exposure people get to, whereas you're offering that beneficial exposure. You're offering, okay, here's a big old...
Yeah, here's the thing you're scared of. Let's talk about it.
Tell me why you're scared. Let's work
and the thing is, it's a very slow process. When I'm working with people who really... It's one, you have to want to be ready. Mm-hmm. If you're not ready, it's like quitting. It's like quitting smoking, right, or whatever. If you're going to quit smoking, you have to be ready to quit. If you think, well, I'm going to try, well, there's no try. Either you are or you're not. And so when you're ready, you come to me and say, listen, we don't even start off with the animals. We sit down talking. Tell me, where does it all start? And get to know and I get to explain about the animal without having to worry about it. And then if I have some props, like with snake fear, we might start with snake skin, a shed. Yeah. There's actually a skin on the wall and a shed up there. So. Yeah, you too. Bye, thank you. And so, we'll start off with props and we'll start off with things and, we'll slowly build it. It's all at their pace. So when they're ready to see the live animal, then we'll start. But not until they say so. I'm not just going to throw a snake at them. And I even might start with one, in back. Where I sit back and they're up there and they can observe and I'll be talking, saying, okay, so we're going to watch how the movement is, and we're going to, how gentle it's moving and blah, 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 it's not doing, and we'll slowly build up the confidence to the point where they're actually holding. Now, they still might be scared, but they're not debilitated by the fear, which is what ultimately I'm trying to go for.
And it not so much a fear sometimes, I think it turns into a healthy respect, which could sometimes be considered construed as a fear in some of what I've seen. Well, maybe it's different for you.
Healthy respect is different because I know a lot of people who say that. I'm not scared of them. I just respect them. And that's a legitimate, in a way it is a fear of the unknown, but they realize the importance.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just let it be as is. And again, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I mean, as I tell kids when I'm doing my presentation in the beginning and I'm introducing myself and stuff, and I'm going to take out some animals, and some of you might be scared. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to be scared.
It's fine to be scared.
That's what keeps us safe. The thing is, try to learn about your fears. It doesn't matter what it is in life. It doesn't matter if it's an animal or anything. Try to understand why you're scared. Because the more we learn about something, the less scared we're going to be. Doesn't mean we're going to like it, but we won't be scared of it. And, that's okay. You don't have to like everything in life. You don't like snakes, you don't like snakes. But if you understand them, you're not going to hurt them either.
Kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
And on that, too, like we were talking about, a lot of people are scared of snakes, and considering there are venomous snakes in the world, people a lot of times...
There are in Maine, too.
And they're
harmless.
But we have people that might take that fear and go, oh, it's venomous, and kill it immediately, because even if it's a garter snake or something, if we can get past that fear and learn a little bit, we can realize, even if it is venomous, you stay away from it, you leave it alone, it leaves you alone. It's not going to chase you through your yard.
It doesn't make it any more different than any other snake. Because it's venomous, yes, there's a risk, but its behavior and attitude is the same as a non-venomous. It's not...
Just because you get venom doesn't mean it starts hunting humans.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a lot of people think, that automatically it's going to kill you and stuff like that. And like I say, we have venomous snakes here in Maine. It's just their venom is so mild, it's for subduing slugs. I mean, so if you were to get bit, it's not going to affect you.
Well, even like...
Because venom we automatically think is fatal every time. It's like, no, there's different levels of venom and poison that, some are more dangerous than others. But, that's the way it goes.
Well, and with that being said, too, it's like the hognoses in the pet trade.
Yeah.
Those are a rear-fanged venomous animal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a mild toxin, unless you're allergic to it.
Yeah, I would say they did have a case recently that was in I didn't...
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, they did have a case recently where someone got envenomated. It was like the first time ever documented, you know, so it's so rare. And again, it really depends on your allergies. You know, black widows, you know, are always listed as deadly. You know, one of the deadliest spiders in the United States. That and the brown recluse, and it's like, well, the last person who died from a black widow was like 1983. You know, and again, he had heart conditions, and so, you know, he could have been shoveling snow and died.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, or whatever. I mean, so, you know, the venom definitely sped up the process. It definitely caused issues.
It held.
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
factor.
you know, my daughter's been bit by a black widow because she was in Florida and she got bit. She said, "Yeah, got bit." So it ruined my day. I felt like crap.
Didn't feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Didn't feel good for-
There was all kinds of stuff involved, but she survived it, and you know, it was like, well, okay, stayed calm. You know, she knew, but that was again one of the things that I tried to.
And yeah, like I was saying with the hognose too, it's such a common pet. You can go to almost any pet store, almost any pet,
Yeah.
or almost any reptile expo and find cheap hognoses, expensive hognoses if you're going for morphs or whatever. And a lot of people don't seem to know that. They're like, I got this for my kid, and you're like, yes. And you're not trying to scare them, but then they're like, wait a minute, it's venomous. Hold on, it's rear fang. So first of all, it has to bite you and chew on you for it to really risk
Every
you
time,
envenomate.
yeah, when I'm working with people with phobias and stuff, and we get to that point where we're actually holding snakes, and I'll let them hold the hog nose, and then they hand it back to me, and I put it back in the cage, and I say, now that you've given me the snake back, I let them know that was a venomous snake, and their eyes wide, and it's like, but did it do anything? No, and then I explain the whole process of how it envenomates and what type of venom and blah blah blah, and you know, but I'll ask them, if I had given it to you first and said, here, do you want to hold this venomous snake, would you?
No way.
Yeah, no. I said, but you did it, and it showed no more aggression than any other
And a
snake